I'm Dr. Charles Majors. I practice right outside Chicago, Illinois. I'm a maximized living chiropractor. A while back, I began getting severe migraine headaches and not knowing what it was at all. And I remember them just all sitting there and it looked like somebody had died. You know, my wife's crying, family's crying, they're all trying to hold it back, and no one was saying anything to me. I had a tube down my throat from the surgery, I had a tube coming out of my head, and no one was telling me anything at that time. And in that moment, he said, this is no longer a benign tumor, it's cancer.
Once my wife was diagnosed with cancer, we had a choice to make, and that choice was to follow the traditional medical way of doing things or to do some research and find out a different alternative.
I remember saying to the doctors, you could barely hear me mumbling, and I remember saying, over and over, I don't want a cure. I want to know what caused this.
How's everyone doing? Good. So you look at this right now and you see this, it was 43 years ago. 43 years ago that we made it a national declaration, a campaign that we're going to end cancer, that we're going to end it. It was 43 years ago, but where are we now? Where are we now? 43 years, billions of dollars, all the pink, all the walks and the races for the cures, and where are we now? Well, when you look at the statistics here, where are we now? 1 in 2 men now will be diagnosed with cancer, okay? So there's one man there and there's one man here, okay? If it's not you, then it's you, okay? That's not me saying that. That's the American Cancer Society. That's the statistics saying that, okay? 1 in 3 women, right? So here's 1, 2, 3 women. If it's not you two, it's you. Right? Again, not me saying that. That's the statistics saying that if it's not you, then who's it going to be? So where are we now? Where are we now? Cancer is the leading cause of death in Canada. Where are we now? It's getting worse. There's 1.65 million cases this year alone. 1.65 million. Where are we now? Cancer is the second leading cause of death in children. Did you guys know that? Right now, your kids and your grandkids, my kids growing up, there's a 1 in 300 chance that they will be diagnosed with cancer by the time they hit age 20. That's ridiculous. That is unacceptable. Where are we now? It's worse than ever, and it's expected to keep getting worse. Global cancer cases, it's spreading across the globe, is expected to rise by 75% in the next 15 years. Where are we now? Where are we now? And so right now you're sitting there and you're looking at your life and you're saying, is it going to be me? And some of you already know the story of my dad. My dad died of cancer when he was only 45 years old. I was only 19 at the time, and I was completely robbed of my father. And the thing is that we had no clue. We had no clue. I'm the second oldest of 8 kids. 8 kids standing around a hospital bed in the ICU and watching their dad take his last breath and die right in front of them. We had no clue that this was happening. We were sitting there, every single one of us were like, how could this be real? How could this be happening? I mean, he was the strongest person, the best dad in the world. He was physically strong, he had the best willpower, strong Christian, a worship leader in the church. How could this happen to him? I remember being in the hospital room and face down in this musty chair, and I was just crying out to God. I'm like, how can this be real? If you want to feel the most weak, hopeless feeling, can you imagine sitting there and watching your hero die right in front of you? There's nothing you can do about it. And so when you start to look at your life and you say, is it going to be me? You have to realize, Even 1 week before my dad died, we still had no clue. He actually, 1 week before he died, he was helping me move into college. I had no clue. If you had told me at that time, 1 week later I'd be burying my dad, I would have said, you're crazy. But every single day, listen, every single day, you're either building cancer or you're destroying it. There's no in between. You're either building cancer or you're killing it every single day. So who you want to be, what's meant to be is happening now. Okay? What's meant to be is happening now. And so what that means is that who you want to be 20 years from now is because of the actions and the decisions that you're making right now today. Who your kids will be when they're 20 is because the actions and that you're making right now and the decisions that he or she makes throughout their life. Who you're going to be when you're 70, when you're 80 years old, when you're 90 years old is because of what's happening and what you're doing, the actions and decisions that you're making right now today. So if you want to be 70, 80 years old, or even 40 for that matter, healthy, no cancer, then you have to start taking action when? Right now, today, right? And so I have an amazing day planned for you guys. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I'm going to be taking you through the proper foods to be eating. You're going to know exactly what cancer is. You're going to know all the foods that you can be eating to stop it and prevent it. We're going to be going through the proper supplementation, different resources that we have available today that I'm going to be able to get into your hands today so that you can start keep killing cancer every single day. For those of you that aren't patients in the office yet, you're going to be given that opportunity because once you're a cancer killer, you need to make sure that you're staying a cancer killer. You need to make sure that you're staying a cancer killer. So those of you that are patients, you're going to take your health to the next level. Those of you that aren't patients, we're going to give you that opportunity. So it's going to be an amazing day, but really none of it matters unless if you take what? Action. You have to take action. Okay? So in order to never get cancer, and this is what my dad didn't understand, you have to know what it is and what causes it. Okay, that's something my dad did not understand. And you heard Dr. Charlie Major's story there as well. But this is something that he did not understand. Nobody ever took the time to explain these things to him. And it's amazing, you know, what is cancer? This is huge. You wouldn't believe how many people I talk to. Even people that have had cancer, they've gone through it already, and I'll ask them and I'll talk to them, and most of them still have no clue what cancer even is. They still don't know. I mean, if you don't know what something is, how are you going to fight it and how are you going to prevent it? You have to know exactly what it is. And when you break it down, though, cancer quite simply is a cell that's no longer dying. Cancer is a cell that's no longer dying, it just keeps replicating abnormally. That's all it is. That's all it is, because in order to understand it, you have to understand what you are. You're made up of trillions of cells. That's all you are. From your bone marrow to your blood, to your liver, to your heart, all you are is cells with spirit inside. That's it. It's pretty cool when you think about it like that. And so every single one of those cells, it has a life cycle. It has a life cycle. It grows, and then it dies. It grows, and then it dies. It's called apoptosis, programmed cell death. And that's what I get excited about, because I just get amazed at how brilliant our bodies actually are. And how intelligent our bodies are, that every single time a cell grows and it dies, a new one comes in and takes its place. That's how brilliant our body is. So what is cancer, though? Cancer, quite simply, is when those cells no longer die and they keep replicating abnormally. That's all it is. That's all it is, right? We think it's something bigger. We think it's something more dangerous or something like that. You know, it's amazing. We can understand quantum physics. We can put a man on the moon in perfect timing, but we can't get this down, right? I think it's very, very strange. And it's because we're looking at it the wrong way and we're coming about it the wrong way. We think it's some monster inside of us that's going to grow and take over. But what you have to realize is that it's you. It's you. It's your cells. It's part of you. It's part of you. And so what is cancer then? So And so then we have to ask ourselves, the next question we have to ask ourselves is that a good thing or a bad thing? And this is what's going to be hard for a lot of you, especially if you've had cancer, if you watch somebody close go through it. As I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm going to show you that. The new hypothesis on cancer, it's a survival mechanism. It's a survival mechanism. Okay? Because, you know, because you have to realize, in order to realize the cancer, there's nothing deadly about a cancer cell. Did you guys know that? There's nothing about a cancer cell that actually kills you. There's nothing deadly about it. It's you, remember. It's you. Because your cancer isn't what's making you sick. It's your sickness over time that creates your cancer. Okay? If you're taking notes, that's a good one to write down. I'll say it again. Your cancer doesn't make you sick. Your sickness over time creates your cancer. So what that means then, right, is we can get rid of all the cancer cells inside you. Whether you do it conventionally and medically or whether you do it naturally, it doesn't matter. If all you do is you get rid of all those cancer cells and you remove them, what are you still then? You're still sick, right? You're still sick. So what comes back most of the time? More cancer comes right back. Because your cancer isn't what's making you sick. Your sickness over time creates your cancer. And so to understand this, first you have to realize, you know, as a survival mechanism, every symptom is the body doing the right thing at the right time. And that's all that cancer is. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of a sick body. Okay? I'm going to show that to you because right now, if I took and I closed off all the doors in here, I started a fire, instantly what would happen to your blood pressure? It would go up, right? It would go up. Even just thinking about that, probably your blood pressure is starting to go up. Okay? So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Your body goes into what's called fight or flight, right? And your blood pressure goes up. Is it good or bad? It's good, right? You go through all these mechanisms and these processes inside your body, right? Because if I close off all the doors in here and I start a fire, in order to save your life, your blood pressure goes up, it goes into fight or flight. It's a survival, healthy, healing mechanism because you have to bust down the door to save your life. Cancer is there. Am I saying cancer is there to save your life? That's exactly what I'm telling you. That's exactly what I'm telling you. It's a survival mechanism. And in order to understand that more, you have to look at what causes cancer. So a cause of cancer and really all diseases is when those cells become toxic, deficient, or they have a decrease in function. So you have to first look at what does a healthy cell need. And there are certain things that a cell needs in order to stay healthy and be healthy. Okay? It's certain things that it's requirements. And if it's not getting those things, then that's when you get sick. So a healthy cells use oxygen for fuel. Okay, they thrive on oxygen. If they don't get oxygen, they get sick. Okay, then you get sick. So they need oxygen. They don't use sugar for fuel. They don't need sugar for fuel. They use fat for energy, not sugar. It lives in a slightly alkaline environment. It prefers it. If it's not slightly alkaline, it can't survive in that environment. Okay, it needs a proper nerve supply. It has to get those signals from the brain. There's actually a gene inside you. It's called the P53 gene. P53 gene is the one that, when activated, it triggers that apoptosis, that programmed cell death. That's what triggers it, okay? If you're not getting the proper signals from the brain to communicate out to those cells, and if you're not getting the proper nutrients inside your body, if you're toxic or you're deficient, that P53 gene doesn't get activated, okay? It's a whole study. We've looked at the genetics. The answer to cancer is not in your genes. We've proven that. Okay? It's this whole other field. It's called epigenetics. It's your lifestyle. There's things that are triggering those genes on and off. It's turning those genes on and off. And I'm telling you, it's a healthy survival mechanism. Because when we look over here at a cancer cell, and when we compare these things that a healthy cell needs compared to a cancer cell, okay, over here, a cancer cell, it uses sugar for fuel. It loves sugar. Sugar feeds the cancer cells. It feeds it. It loves it. That's what it needs. It doesn't need oxygen. Okay? It uses fermentation. Fermentation doesn't need oxygen. It uses sugar. No oxygen to produce energy. That's a cancer cell. Okay? No oxygen. It lives in an acidic environment. Cancer and all diseases prefer a more acidic environment versus slightly alkaline. Okay? And it doesn't need a proper nerve supply. If you don't get the nerve signal coming in there to turn on the P53 gene, it doesn't need that. Right? It doesn't care if you have communication from the brain. It doesn't need to hear those messages. It acts incoordinated from the rest of the body. And the brain and the nerve supply is what's there to keep it coordinated so that your heart and your liver and your lungs and everything's working in proper coordination and timing, perfect timing. So watch this here, okay? So I decide, right? I'm going to be stressed out, okay? Because a healthy cell needs a non-stressed environment, but I'm not going to do anything about the stress. I'm going to stay stressed out, okay? I decide I'm not going to take care of my spine and my nerve system. I'll brush my teeth every single day so that they don't rot and fall out, but I'm not going to take care of my spine and nerve system. I'm just going to let them rot and fall out. You know, and that could be because nobody's really taught you how to do that. I decide I'm not going to eat healthy food. I'm not going to give my body the nutrients it needs to survive and stay healthy. I'm not going to give it those things, you know, because nobody taught me how, or I don't know how, I don't know why, nobody told me I should. I'm not going to exercise consistently. I'm going to keep pouring toxins and rubbing lotions onto my body and dumping these toxins into my body every single day, okay? If I was a healthy cell, right? If my body wasn't brilliant and it didn't have an ability to switch and walk over here to a cancer cell, the second that cell didn't get enough, this healthy cell here, the second I didn't get enough oxygen, what would happen to me? I die, right? I die. But because your body is brilliant, it turns this on. It's a defense mechanism. It's a survival mode. And you can walk over here into a cancer cell, okay? Because over here, guess what I can do now? I can survive. Now I can survive. And so Otto Warburg, back in early 1930s, he did this amazing work. He's Nobel Prize winner. But what he found was, and he watched this happen right in front of him, when he turned off the oxygen into the cells, he could watch them right before his eyes move from a healthy cell over to here to a cancer cell. He watched it happen right in front of him. Guess what happened when he turned the oxygen back on? It came right back over here to a healthy cell, right in front of his eyes, just like that. And so Otto Warburg found this out. And so you don't have to just kill all the cancer cells. You don't have to kill them. Some of them you can actually switch around and reverse. So this is the most important slide for you to get right here tonight. Right here. If you want to know how Charlie Majors, Dr. Charlie, killed his cancer, how he defeated that, how he's able to do those things, it's right here. It's this slide right here. Okay? This is how he did it. Because you have to understand what cancer is and what causes it. And so now we're going to come into some different treatments, okay? And so conventionally we look at this and it's all designed to, again, it's the philosophy, it's the mindset that this cancer is inside of you, it's growing, it's taking over, and we need to kill it and get rid of it, right? Versus addressing the fact that the cancer didn't make you sick, it's your sickness over time that created the cancer. So when you look at this, chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, drugs, and more surgery, okay? So those are the only options. We have cut, we have poison, we have burn. That's the only options that we're given conventionally. Okay, but the big question you have to ask yourself, and I'm going to go through some of these here. And listen, I'm not here to tell you whether or not you should do these. I'm here to give you information about these things. Okay, does that make sense? The question you have to ask yourself, though, is cancer caused by a lack of any of these things? No. So if this is all I do for my cancer, what's stopping it from coming back? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So chemotherapy, a lot of people don't realize the history of chemotherapy, but chemotherapy was actually a chemical warfare agent. That's how it started out. Did you guys know that? It's mustard gas. Started out as mustard gas. So, I mean, does that I mean, does that make any sense at all? I'm going to give you a neurotoxin, mustard gas, and I'm going to call you healthy now? That doesn't make any sense, right? Okay, so it's what happened was the soldiers were coming back after being exposed to this, and all these fast-growing cells were dying. Okay, and so that's what started the first chemotherapies and how they started. The first chemotherapy was called mustine, after mustard gas, because that's what it was derived from. Okay, so all chemotherapy is poisonous. All of it. Every single bit of it. And so it's extremely toxic. That's why people on this, they suffer so much in so many different areas in their health. And so looking at some of these side effects though, okay, going through chemotherapy, and these will happen quite rapidly. You got deafness, destroys the skin, causes damage to your heart. Chemo brain. Chemo brain is something you get clogged, you can't think straight, you can't put pieces together, okay? And it's not something that happens just when you're going through the treatment. That can last for years and years and years to come. I've heard of people 20 years later and they're still struggling. Brilliant people still, brilliant. And it's so sad because they can't put the pieces together. They just can't quite, they know it's right there, but they just can't quite make it work. And so that's what chemo brain is, and it actually attacks it like that. It causes nerve damage. Your nerve system controls every single function inside of your body, and it damages it. It causes more interference to your body being healthy. It actually causes secondary cancers. We all know that. It destroys your immune system, which if you want to fight cancer, guess what you need strong? An immune system. Your immune system can destroy cancer. And if you weaken it, though, it can't do that. It causes impotence, loss of taste, organ damage, cumulative toxicity, pain, psychological distress of going through this. Just the psychological distress too, being a woman, losing your hair or whatever it is, that causes psychological distress. Can cause stroke, increases suicide, weight loss, poisoning, and it can cause death. Even after all the cancer is gone, you realize a lot of death certificates, people will die from the chemo and the radiation a year or two later as side effects from it. It's not the cancer that killed them anymore. It's the chemo and the radiation. 100% of chemotherapy is considered poisonous, 100%. When surveyed, you have to understand, when surveyed, this is something that most people don't know, when surveyed, 80% of oncologists said they would not do chemotherapy. Did you guys know that? 80% said they wouldn't do the chemo. Then we look at surgery. Now surgery, as we're looking at this more, we're understanding that there's side effects to the surgery as well. More than, just cutting into your body and tearing part of you out, okay? Listen, God did not give you spare parts. That's a law in health, okay? God didn't give you spare parts, and you cannot poison your body into better health. Those are two things you can stand by to your grave, I promise you. Okay, it's a law in health. And so here's where surgery, though, you understand, because there's nothing deadly about the cancer cell, but we think we got to cut it out. The only time you need that you would possibly have to consider something like that is when it's blocking vital function, an airway, or it's grown to a point where it's blocking an airway or a blood vessel going into a vital organ, something like that. Because remember, the cancer cell, it cannot kill you, right? It's only when it grows and blocks the airways and things, starts to shut functions down. So, but looking at surgery though, it actually, we're finding it increases the risk of metastasis. It increases cancer cell adhesion, suppresses the immune system again. It promotes what's called angiogenesis. Okay, that's what feeds tumors. We'll be talking a little bit more about that. And it stimulates more inflammation. Okay, inflammation causes disease inside of your body. Then we look at radiation. We're looking at the burning organs and part of your body into oblivion. So it weakens, again, it weakens your immune system. So you look at these, each and every single one weakens your immune system, which is your number one defense against cancer. If you want to kill cancer every single day on a daily basis, you need a strong immune system. And I'm going to show you, I have a video of that. So weakens your immune system, it burns other tissues around the cancer cells, and exposes them to a hostile environment, can cause other malignancies. Okay? So here's your steps to preventing or reversing cancer. First, you have to stop making the cancer cells, okay? You have to stop making the cancer by getting the cause, okay? You can't just get rid of the cancer cells. You have to get the cause, move your body, stop being sick, and create a healthy environment for the cancer cells to switch back over, for your immune system to be strong and kill them. You have to specifically and safely kill the cancer, and then rebuild and strengthen the immune system. These are your 3 steps right here, okay? So I have a video here that's really pretty powerful, because the thing that you need to realize is that we all already have cancer. So this is Dr. William Lee. He's a cancer researcher and president of the Angiogenesis Foundation. So we're going to watch this real quick.
But cancers don't start out like this. And in fact, cancers don't start out with a blood supply. They start out as small, microscopic nests of cells that can only grow to 1/2 a cubic millimeter in size. That's the tip of a ballpoint pen. Then they can't get any larger because they don't have a blood supply, so they don't have enough oxygen or nutrients. And in fact, we're probably forming these microscopic cancers all the time in our body. Autopsy studies from people who died in car accidents have shown that about 40% of women between the ages of 40 and 50 actually have microscopic cancers in their breasts. About 50% of men in their 50s and 60s have microscopic prostate cancers. And virtually 100% of us, by the time we reach our 70s, will have microscopic cancers growing in our thyroid. Yet without a blood supply, most of these cancers will never become dangerous. Dr. Judah Folkman, who was my mentor and who is the pioneer of the angiogenesis field, once called this cancer without disease. So the body's ability to balance angiogenesis, when it's working properly, prevents blood vessels from feeding cancers. And this turns out to be one of our most important defense mechanisms against cancer.
So your body is brilliant, right? Your body is brilliant, and if you can keep from feeding into the cancer like that, your body actually destroys it, like he was saying. But here's the thing, is that what we don't realize is that every single one of us, we build these cancer cells every single day. At any given time, we now know that you have between 100 and 10,000 of these microscopic cancers going on inside of you. Do you guys know that? Every single day, you make between 100 and 10,000 cancer cells. Every single day, you're building these. If your immune system's strong, guess what it does? It kills them. It finds them, it identifies them, and kills them. And when your immune system's weak, it can't do that, and it can start to form these blood supplies called angiogenesis. But look at this here. Active cancer cells can actually double every 90 days. So that's the thing, though, is that you don't feel the symptoms of it. You don't feel the symptoms of it until it's years down the road. Years down the road. Finally, 8 years later, when it's billions of cells strong, did you guys know that that's how strong it has to be in order for a mammogram to even pick it up? Right? So when a mammogram identifies that, that's not a cancer that just formed. That's been going on for years inside of you. So when you look at that, you have to realize you already have cancer going on. You already have cancer going on inside of you right now. It's up to you to make sure that you're doing everything you can to move it over to this healthy cell, this healthy environment, so that your body can kill it and stay on top of it. Okay? So how to kill cancer. Cancer cells have weaknesses which we can use to our advantage. Okay? This is how we can kill those cancer cells, by addressing the weaknesses inside of it. Okay? So first of all, you want to starve the cancer. Okay, remember, sugar feeds the cancer. Sugar feeds the cancer. Cancer cells have multiples and multiples of receptors for sugar. It is searching for sugar to feed off of, because it uses fermentation for energy. Does that make sense? So it's looking for sugar. So if you stop eating all the sugar and giving it the sugar, guess what it does? It starves. So cut off the cancer's blood supply, anti-angiogenesis. So there's foods that promote that. Fix the environment. Make sure that you're doing things to step into an alkaline environment versus an acidic. That's the foods that you're eating, right? They can be acidic promoting, or they can be acid promoting, or they can be alkaline promoting. By the way, it takes about 50 glasses of water to neutralize the pH of just one soda. Just one soda. Induce apoptosis through epigenetics. Balance the hormones to eliminate estrogen dominance. Okay, you need to balance out the hormones. Correct any nutritional deficiencies. Use botanical compounds that will help to kill the cancer cells and remedy the inflammation. So when you rebuild the immune system, you need to be looking at the nutrition, the liver, the bowel, and chiropractic. Okay, chiropractic has a huge influence. They found out that when you pull the nerve supply from your immune system organs, your immune system stops dead in its tracks. It doesn't work without a nerve supply. They're now calling it neuroimmunology because the two are so closely related that they can't separate the study of the two. It's your nerve system and it's your immune system, the two super systems inside your body that are causing the healing. So what causes cancer then? What causes this environment? Well, it's right here. This is the great news though, is that no matter what brought you in here today, what problem you walked in here with today, what disease you're concerned about, whatever you want to prevent, the answer is right inside of you. It's already inside of you. You've already been given everything that you need, right? God didn't forget anything when He created you. He didn't forget anything. There isn't missing pieces there. Everything that you need to be healthy is right inside of you. It's these 5 essentials right here. And so when you start to look at these 5 essentials, we're going to go through them each, but really, when you look at the cause of any disease, you can look at this as toxicity or deficiency. That's it. That's what all of it ever boils down to. It's either toxicity or deficiency, right? You can have toxic thoughts. You can be deficient in your nerve supply. You can have toxicity or deficiency in your nutrition. The food that you're eating now can be so toxic for you as well. You would think if it's food, it's fine, but in today's world, it's not that way. Deficiency of oxygen and fitness, right? You were created to move. You were created to exercise and be alive. And toxicity, right? More and more so, we're dumping toxins into our bodies. The clothes we're wearing, the lotions that we're using, the personal care products, the food that we're eating now is toxic. So this is actually a quick testimonial video then of people that have done this. And I want to share that with you.
satisfy. To you, we will come running in you. We found belonging. Your love is all that can satisfy.
Isn't that awesome? So, you know, that's just what happens when you start to switch over and you start to live in these principles and stop relying. You know, these people, basically what they did, they had a choice. They could put their faith into drugs that man came up with, or they could put their faith into the creative design, the way that God created the body to operate, heal, and function. That's it. It's your choice. What do you want to choose? Where do you want to put your faith? Where do you want to put your faith? For me, I'm going to put it in the creative design of the body. Does that make sense? That's what I want for myself and my family. But the thing is don't wait until you're at that point. You don't ever want to wait, because guess what? Sometimes it's too late no matter what you do. You have to. That's why I'm saying you have to start today. You have to start taking action right now. Right now. But it works. So going through these essentials, essential number 1, and it's essential number 1 for a very, very important reason, because your mind is extremely, extremely powerful tool for healing. Your outlook on your life, your thoughts, your self-image that you have that creates healing, or it can create disease, right? I'm not just talking about stress and time management here. It goes much deeper than that, right? And you have to understand, though, what health is, too. So essential number 1 is the mind. Your mindset can activate or shut down bad genes. It's that powerful. It's that powerful. They did this study here back in 2003. They found that negative thoughts, negative emotions cause your DNA strands to wind more tightly. Positive thoughts cause them to unwind and become more loose, right? That's literally your DNA is becoming more stressed when you have those negative thoughts. And so the amazing thing is that the effect happens so quickly, so quickly. It was exhibited in just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. That's how powerful the mind is. As a matter of fact, I used to, when I was in college, I was looking for ways to get money. I used to sell my plasma. And they take your blood pressure. You have to make sure your blood pressure is high enough to do this. And so I went in there a couple times, and my blood pressure was too low to donate that day. And so what they had me do was they said, go out in the waiting room, think about something that makes you mad for 5 minutes, come back, we'll recheck you. And guess what happened to blood pressure? It went up. So does your thoughts affect the function of your body? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. Right? It's the same thing. Those negative thoughts will weaken the immune system. It'll change your blood pressure. It'll change your posture too. The thoughts that you have about yourself, you carry this around. Now you put more stress on your nerve system coming through there on your spine, and your health suffers. So, but the other thing about your mind though is you have to understand what health is and where it's coming from, okay? So moving now to essential number 3. So we're going to go over the essentials of a cell, okay? The things that a cell needs. So there's 6 essentials of every single cell. Every single cell needs 22 amino acids. They're called the vital amino acids. You need them. You need antioxidants. You need fatty acids, live enzymes, vitamins, and then you also need minerals and trace minerals. So if you're depriving your cells of those nutrients, if you're deficient in any of those, then guess what? The cell can't survive, and then it can start to move over to that cancer state. So essential fatty acids are so vitally important, extremely, extremely important, because remember, if all you are cells, what you need to realize is each and every single cell, the outer membrane is made up of what? Do you guys know? Fat. It's all fat. It's a double bilayer of fat. So your outer membrane, it's mostly fat. Now, if that's rancid fats and it's congested and it's not healthy, you're not giving your body that vital nutrient of good, healthy fats, guess what happens to the cell membranes is they become congested. So the cell walls need the essential fatty acids. If there isn't enough essential fatty acid, then oxygen gets restricted and the cells become cancerous. They become cancerous. It can't get, you can't get good nutrients in, you can't get the oxygen nutrients in, and you can't get the toxins out. You can't get the toxins out. You have to make that healthy. The cell walls need that essential fatty acids so that oxygen nutrients can enter the cell and create healthy cells. Okay? And so when you look at that, then there's certain oils and fats and foods that you need. So that old mantra of fat-free, that's absolutely dead. We now know, there's been research coming out on this for 20 years now. 20 years now about how fat is one of the biggest, is right now the biggest missing nutrient in the US. It's your biggest missing nutrient. They're estimating that somewhere around 60% of your calories should actually come from a fat. Did you guys know that? About 60% of your calories should be coming from fat. Okay, so you don't have to hide from the butter anymore. You just need to make sure it's healthy, right? So, but you have to stay away from rancid fats and things as well, right? So there's Time Magazine, Eat the Butter. This was just this year, actually. Scientists labeled fat the enemy. Why they were wrong. Why they were wrong. Fat is not the enemy, okay? Sugar is more the enemy. So, and that's the next step, is no sugar, right? No sugar. So just to know on the fats, your great fats are going to be coconut oils, okay? Olive oil, but you don't want to cook with olive oil. You can turn it rancid. And butter from a grass-fed organic source. Because if it's grass-fed versus grain-fed, your animals, you're not just what you ate, what you're eating, you're what you're eating ate. Make sense? So you have to pay attention to these things, because now, you know, God didn't create cows to eat corn. He didn't create them to eat corn. So when we go against God's design, we always run into problems. And that's what we're seeing. The cows are sick, and if you're eating the products from a sick cow, what are you going to be? Sick. Yep. It's not rocket science. So sick cow. Yep. So no sugar. You know what? And think about this. When they do the test and they want to visualize the cancer inside you, they do what's called a PET scan. Okay? You guys heard of those? They do what's called a PET scan. What do they give you before those PET scans? Sugar. They give you sugar. The scientists and the doctors, they'll give you a radioactive sugar so that the PET scan can visualize it, because the cancer feeds off of that sugar. Do you guys ever think about that? Most oncologists and doctors and stuff I talk to, they don't even think about this. And they're like, well, sugar doesn't affect it. I'm like, really? So what do you feed somebody for the PET scan then? And then it hits them. They're like, now it makes sense. Okay. So that's why, because it'll go directly to those cancer cells and it makes them light up so they can see and visualize the cancer. So that's one thing though too, is you don't want to get regular PET scans, because what that means is they're giving you sugar, you're feeding the cancer then. So, and they do this with people that they know have cancer because they want to visualize it, and so that's the thing, is a lot of these tests and things, they have side effects. Same thing with the mammograms. You get enough mammograms, you're going to have a secondary cancer from all the radiation and the compression. So that's why our maximized livings, the advanced plans, it completely eliminates sugar, which will then starve the cancer cells. Okay? So there's two plans. There's the core plan and there's the advanced plan. Okay? Core plan is general health for the whole family. We have the nutrition book back there. It outlines those two plans to give you guidelines for it. Super easy to read, easy to begin to follow, but it can take years to master it. That's the fun thing about nutrition, is that you keep learning new things. I keep learning new things all the time, and keep making changes, and it's something you keep growing in. But you just have to get started. You just have to get started. So the core plan then is going to eliminate sugar. It switches your grains to healthy grains. The advanced plan takes it a step further. You eliminate grains as well, because grains will actually turn into sugar inside your body very, very rapidly, within seconds. They actually did a study on this, and they found out, there's a Dr. Oz clip if you ever want to look it up. He did the study as well. He had a group of ladies come in one day, and they ate whole grain bread. Okay? Then they came, and then they tested their blood sugar. Came back the next day and they ate a Snickers bar and tested their blood sugar. The whole grain blood spiked it more for half of the women. half of the women, the whole grain blood spiked it more. And it wasn't just a little bit, it was like twice as much more. So absolutely, those grains, especially if it's like a flour or something like that, whenever you read a wheat flour or a grain flour or anything like that, when you're reading an ingredient label, just read sugar, because that's all it is. It's going to be sugar inside your body within seconds, okay? That's not healthy anymore. So inflammation, which sugar causes inflammation, then it causes an inflammatory response inside of your body. Inflammation is the body's response to tissue damage, okay? So what causes inflammation? Your bad fats, okay? That's your safflower oils, your corn oils, your peanut oils, your soys, different things like that. Those are rancid fats. Any hydrogenated oils, any trans fats, partially hydrogenated oils, those are going to cause inflammation inside your body. Remember that cell membrane I was talking about? It causes it to be congested, and that's inflammation inside your body. It can't get the good stuff in and out. Toxicity will cause inflammation. Toxins are hormone disruptors. They interfere with the communication inside the body, and they'll come onto the cell and latch onto the receptor, and it takes a spot of the receptor where your hormones are supposed to be communicating. Allergens like casein and gluten, food sensitivities, which you can have sensitivities to those things, and psychological stress as well. All those can cause inflammation inside your body. So you need to start addressing those and replacing them. So the importance of your colon and your bowels. Here's the amazing thing about your colon. It's like a whole nother body inside of you, because you have more microorganisms inside of your colon than you do cells inside your entire body. Do you know that? They're starting to think of your gut bacteria. They call it now the microbiome. They're thinking of it as its own organ because it has so much to do with your health. Look at how it affects 80% of our immune system. Comprises more than 80% of your immune system, comes from the microorganisms inside of your gut. So if that's not healthy, that's 80% of your immune system that can be shut down. So you want to look at things that can shut down those microorganisms, and what's going to destroy it? Obviously antibiotics. Antibiotics and a lot of other medications that are designed to kill microorganisms, okay? What you need to do is you need to balance it out. You don't want to kill those microorganisms because that's going to weaken the immune system. That's why they found actually ear infections, they found antibiotics don't help. And it actually increases your chance of reinfection by about 70%. Increases your chance. Why? Because it now killed and destroyed your immune system and you're susceptible to another infection, okay? The actual standard, according to AMA, by the way, just so you know, for your kids and your grandkids, the actual standard is you're supposed to do nothing for at least 4 days. And if it's getting better after 4 days, keep doing nothing. But they said wait a minimum of 4 days before you would ever start any type of treatment to kill microorganisms. Okay? You have to realize though, if your immune system's strong and you're taking measures every single day to increase your kid's immune system and your own immune system, when you get that infection, your body destroys it, okay? That's why you think about it. I mean, it used to be like people could die from ear infections and common colds and things, but as the immune system gets stronger, we're not malnourished as much anymore, right? We're not going to the bathroom and drinking the same water. Right, we have sewer systems and ways to do that now and separate those things out. Our immune systems are stronger, so those things can't kill us anymore, right? It's the strength of the immune system. But we keep coming up with new ways to weaken that immune system, and these things will start to come back then. Diets high in refined carbs, sugar, and processed foods will weaken the immune system and ruin the gut. It'll cause the overgrowth of certain bacteria. It's going to cause an imbalance in there is mainly what it does. Food sensitivities like wheat and dairy will destroy the microbiome. Chronic stress and chronic infections. And so that's why we have this supplement here. It's called Max GI. It's to help rebuild that, to start rebuilding and creating a healthy gut. It helps to create a balance inside of there. So your healthy immune system depends on that gut flora. And this is going to support that gut flora inside there through probiotics and through essential oils. Probiotics and essential oils, using those combined together to specifically target and create a healthy digestive system. Because listen, if you're eating all the healthy food but it's not getting through and transporting through inside your digestive system, you're not getting the nutrients anyways, right? You can take the best vitamins in the world, if it's not getting through the digestive tract, then it's not doing you any good. You're just wasting a lot of money on organic food then. So here's some cancer fighting juices for you. You can start to juice. Juicing is a really, really powerful way to get nutrients inside your body. It's almost like it'll go straight into your bloodstream within seconds. It just gets there so rapidly. It's almost like an IV for you, but it's through your digestive system here. So you can do this at home. Here's some great cancer-killing juices: bok choy, kale, broccoli, carrots, beetroots. And so the broccoli, the kale, the bok choy, those type of things too, they do anti-angiogenesis. Okay, so what Dr. William Lee was talking about with the blood supply going into the cancer cells and the microscopic cancers, these will combat that and they'll stop it from happening so that your immune system has a chance to get in there and kill it before it grows. So these are great juices here. And then smoothies. We'll have some samples of these smoothies for you here at the break coming up. Inside the nutrition book too, there's a whole section in the back all about different smoothies you can make. So this is, and your kids will have it too. These are delicious. You're going to taste it. We do this every single morning, and my whole family can drink it. So we do a smoothie like this because it's a great way, to get the nutrients into your body. Start off with a lot of energy in the morning. Make sure your kids are getting all their greens and their vegetables. And so that's why we come up with this max greens, because sometimes it's hard, especially you look now, most of your nutrients should be coming from your food, okay? That's how it was created to be. That's how it should be. However, a lot of modern farming practices have completely depleted nutrients inside of the soil. So the food that we eat today isn't even half of what it was 50, 60 years ago before modern farming practices started destroying the soil depletion of the nutrients, okay? So supplementation has really become more of a must. You need to start to get more of these nutrients inside your body. So the Max Greens is a great way to do that. It has 34 different organic and living greens. It's different sprouts, helps with your digestion, boosts your immune system. It's a great way to get in there for the kids, and it can help to detoxify as well. It has chlorophyll. It's known to neutralize cytotoxins, okay? Then the other thing is the perfect protein. This one's really important because whey protein is your most readily available. It's what's called most bioavailable and bioactive, meaning your body will take it and use it right away. It starts using it within an hour of ingesting it. Your body will start to use these whey proteins. So the problem is that most commercial whey proteins, they come from commercially raised cows, and so they were fed grains, and they weren't healthy either. They were injected with growth hormones. During the processing too, they heated it up. They used it like a superheating in the processing to make the whey powder, and it destroys those nutrients and those enzymes, okay? You should be getting raw food, okay? So that's why we've made this one here, is because one, it comes from grass-fed organic cows, okay? It's coming from grass-fed cows, so you're getting the proper balance inside of there. And it's cold processed. There's no heat used in the making of it whatsoever. So it's basically a raw nutrient for your body. You get it in there and your body will start using it right away, okay? So protein is, the morning's a great time to get that protein in, okay? The other amazing time to do it then, obviously too, is right after a workout, because you're gonna be repairing and building muscle again. Another really, really important vitamin to talk about is D3. Amazing, amazing research is coming out on this. It's your sunshine vitamin, right? And so within a few days, half the cancer cells shriveled up and died. The vitamin has the same effect as a drug used for breast cancer treatment. I'm going to show you, there's a quick video on this just to show you how powerful this actually is, and the research keeps coming out on it.
And now the new study linking vitamin D and cancer in a way we've never heard before. Doctors know that low levels of the vitamin can lead to a host of illnesses, but now research suggests that vitamin D might actually hold the key to fighting cancer. John McKenzie has a story.
The studies just keep coming, the evidence mounting. Low levels of vitamin D are now linked to so many illnesses, from breast, colon, and prostate cancers, type 1 diabetes and asthma, to multiple sclerosis and heart disease.
I even think of vitamin D as the fountain of youth, if you will, in that it allows us to age well.
At least that's the hope. And nowhere is the evidence more compelling than here in the laboratory.
So all the work here is on vitamin D?
Yes, we've got
Professor Joellen Welsh has spent the last 25 years studying the powerful effect of vitamin D on cells.
These are human breast cancer cells growing in the flask.
Taken from a woman who had breast cancer?
Yes.
Now watch what happens when you add a potent form of vitamin D. Within just 4 days, half those cancer cells are dead.
It looks like the cancer cells have basically shriveled up and died.
The longer they're treated with vitamin D, the more of an effect we see. What happens is that vitamin D enters the cells and it triggers this cell death process. It's similar to what we see when we treat cells with tamoxifen.
A drug used to treat breast cancer?
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. It's a very dramatic effect.
That was just the beginning. Researchers here then took human breast cancer cells and injected them into mice. Tumors quickly began to grow, but when the mice were treated with vitamin D, the tumors began to shrink. Look, this one was reduced to half its size. The one here disappeared entirely. Similar results have been seen on colon and prostate tumors in mice. The real test, however, remains. Will vitamin D work this way in people? Other lab work is revealing how vitamin D can actually improve the way cells function in the heart and in blood vessels.
When the number one killer is vascular disease, and vitamin D makes our arteries more healthy, basically, allows them to age well.
Preliminary, tantalizing research on a common nutrient with so much potential. For Good Morning America, John McKenzie, ABC News, Albany, New York.
Isn't that amazing? So, you know, when the doctors tell you, I'm sorry, food will not help your cancer, they just don't know any better, okay? They haven't done the research behind it. And so what do they study? They study drugs and they study surgery. So that's what they're going to know really well. So don't expect them to know something else. That's what they're trained in. That's what they know. So, so here's part of the problem, though, is that currently the RDA recommended daily allowance for vitamin D3 is set way, way, way too low. It's only 400 units. That's all the recommended RDA is. So 400 units a day is what it takes to beat rickets. Okay, when was the last time you saw somebody with rickets? Yeah, so that's like severe deathbed vitamin D deficiency. Okay, and so most Americans, when they test, they fall somewhere between here, this 25 to 40 range. Okay, 25 to 35, most of them. And you can get this tested. You can just order a kit online. It's fairly cheap. You can find out what your D3 levels actually are. But you need to know most people are falling right in here somewhere. And so, but the problem with that is look at all of these cancers then that you're no longer protecting against. You're missing out on protecting against all those cancers. So what the research shows is that what we need to do is we need to get our levels above the 60 line here in order to protect against the cancers, okay? So most people 25 to 35, you need to get it above 60, So in order to do that then, that's why we came up with this powerful vitamin D. This one isn't 400 units, it's 5,000 units. 5,000 units to be able to get you up to that 60 level and maintain there, okay? So you start taking 5,000 units a day. It's called your sunshine vitamin, right? Because you get it being out in the sun. Your body takes, which is another reason why you need fat. This is a fat-based vitamin. Your body takes cholesterol and it turns it into, the sun takes it and turns the cholesterol into this vitamin D3, okay? But in order to do that, you have to be outside in the sun every single day. How many of you are doing that in January here? in your bathing suit. Right, I didn't think so. You need to spend at least 20 minutes though with at least 60% skin exposed daily in order to get what you need for your vitamin D3. So that's not happening in January, for me anyways. So that's why I supplement with this. But not only that though, I want to make sure I'm protecting against cancer all year long, right? So 5,000 units is typically pretty good for maintenance. If you want a more exact formula, you can take 35 times your weight. And that's about what you should do for maintenance. If your immune system's weak or you're trying to rebuild levels, you're severely deficient, you have cancer, you're going through that right now, you can bump those levels way, way up, and there isn't a toxic single dosing of it. And you can take 50,000 units in one sitting, and it's not going to be toxic to you, okay? If you're doing that much, you need to get your blood levels checked on a regular basis, obviously, because you don't want your blood levels overall to start getting too high, okay? So somewhere between 60 and 80 is what looks to be ideal to protect you from cancer. So, but we have that available. Not only that, but we boosted it with some probiotics and 22 other organic fruits and vegetables, all mixed into the D3 there. So it's the highest quality you can get. So the other thing I want to say on Essential 3 is GMOs, okay? So honestly, this is quite possibly the number one thing. If you don't take anything else home from today and changing your diet, this is the one thing you need to get, okay? You need to get rid of the GMOs. Because the longest term study that we have done on GMOs, it was 2 years long. It showed cancerous tumors being formed in these rats here like this. GMO foods cause massive tumors, organ damage, and early death. Genetically modified organism. Okay, genetically modified. Listen, and just as a principle, you cannot improve on God's blueprint, God's design. You guys understand that? You can't do it. It's impossible. So if you start to mess with that, you're only going to make it worse, right? That's just a principle that you can live by in your life. So, different things like this come around. But here's the problem is there's not labeling laws in effect. There's not labeling laws in effect. You don't have to label whether or not that corn is GMO or it's not, okay? They don't have to label it when if it's a processed food. They don't have to tell you if there's GMOs in there or not. So if you're eating processed foods, if they're conventional and they're not organic, you're eating GMOs. That's basically what you have to start assuming. That's exactly it. So because right now about 90% of corn and soy is all GMO. It's all GMO. So you have to assume if it's not organic, it's GMO, quite simply. So this is such an important topic that you're going to see back there. You can get signed up for movie night. I'm going to be showing a documentary on this one subject. It is so important to understand, grasp, and get a hold of and make that change in your life right away. Right away. So I'm actually going to show a quick preview for that.
When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief.
Yeah, I'm in search of food that's not genetically modified. It's kind of a quest I'm on.
And I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light.
I need to sit down and tell you about how angry I get when they say they're going to feed the world.
For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.
The corn we see growing around here is actually registered as a pesticide, but it's also a food?
Well, that's debatable.
Is there a pretty good likelihood that I'll get an interview with someone at Monsanto? Or she said, you need to leave right now.
And I think there's something extremely wrong when a government becomes captive to one industry.
Anything that's too big to fail is too big.
Monsanto threatened to sue the state.
There's nothing to hide, then disclose it.
People have a right to know what they're putting in their bodies.
If it's not organic, it is genetically modified feed.
I don't even know what that is.
What the hell is that?
What is it?
What are they?
Tell the truth. Reveal.
GMO? What's that?
Genetically modified organism.
Oh.
It's...
So that's movie night. So make sure you get signed up for that. That's going to be Monday the 27th. Okay? It'll be in the office. It'll be fun. We'll pop some non-GMO popcorn and watch a movie. So it's a lot of fun though. So you can learn more about that. Invite your friends. You're welcome to bring guests to those events. So the other thing then is the proper pH. So moving from alkaline to from acidic to alkaline. Okay. You need what you want to be is 7.3 or slightly higher. Okay, 7.3, 7.4, right about there. That's where you can kill cancer. Okay, so you can get simple tests for this. You can buy pH strips. They're extremely cheap. You can do a saliva test. You can do a urine test as well to get the pH of your body and find out where you're at. Okay, if it's wrong, you need to start eating an advanced plan right away. The other thing then is activating your cancer killing system. Okay, so that's your immune system, right? To call your cancer killing system into high gear, your nerve system will release this factor. It's called interleukin 2. Interleukin 2. It's an immune factor. It activates the killing of your cancer cells. It activates the killing of your cancer cells. And so chiropractic actually boosts that. They did a study on this. This, by the way, in HIV patients, this is the one of the things that gets reduced in them and kills their immune system. So that people don't die of HIV, they die of some other infection because their immune system's so weak. Okay, chiropractic adjustments. They did a study on HIV patients. They found it increased interleukin 2 by 54% against the group not getting adjusted. That is the only difference. Which, by the way, the drugs for this interleukin 2 therapy, it's a synthetic drug. It's about $100,000 a year. Okay, so you can get chiropractic adjustments, so you can spend $100,000 a year on something synthetic that's going to kill you anyways because it's synthetic. So, but they found influences immediately. They did studies as well, pre-adjustments and post-adjustments. They took samples pre-adjustment and then right post-adjustment. In the right post-adjustment, you get this surge of the interleukin 2 going on inside your body. That's why one of the best things, whenever, if you are going through some type of infection or anything like that, we're not scared of that in the office. The best thing you can do is come in for an adjustment and get that surge to your immune system. I can't tell you how many times somebody brings their kid in to get an adjustment and they're sick, or they have a fever or something going on, and that night the fever spikes, and that's what turned it around. The next day they start doing better. So, but really to understand this, you have to first understand what health is in order to get there, right? That's the first thing you have to understand. So health is just that. It's actually inside of the word itself. It's heal. How is your body healing? That's health. It's when your body's functioning and healing at 100%, and that's it. That's the only definition of health. It's not how, eating and exercising, those types of things. That's part of health. Those are components, but that's not the actual definition of health. You have to understand that. So in order to understand, you have to get to the actual definition of health, which is when your body is functioning and healing at 100%. And so you look at this, the amazing thing is that, so if I want to see how healthy you are actually, I need to see how your body's healing and functioning, right? And I can't look to your nutrition program, I can't look to your exercise program to see that. The best way to look at that is I need to look at what's running and controlling every single function inside your body. What is that? Your nerve system, right? You look at this, God put the most amazing healing power right inside of your brain and your spinal cord, and that is what's powering every single part of your body into life right now. It's stirring every single cell inside of you into life. is telling it how to function, how to heal, how to operate. It's controlling your hormones, your digestion. Right now you're sitting here, your heart's beating at a certain rate and rhythm with blood pressure. It's all under the command of this central nervous system coming down through here, that power and life that transforms across there, right? So now the question has to be then, obviously all these messages, they have to get out there at 100% with no interference, because if I were to come up here and I'd completely chop the nerves going into your heart, what happens to your heart right away? It stops right away. It shuts down and it dies. Now I want you to understand, right? Obviously nobody sitting here has cut nerves going into their heart. That hasn't happened to anybody here. Okay, you wouldn't be with us anymore. But instead, if one of those bones inside of there starts to shift out of place, and it crushes on the spinal cord and the nerves going out into the heart, instantly how does your heart start working? Worse. It's worse. So if you leave that damage in there to get worse, what will happen over time eventually is the same thing. The heart shuts down and it dies. It's the same thing. And so these nerves, they go into all your immune system organs. Remember, it's activating. It's part of that epigenetic factor that's activating your genes. It's turning them on and off. It's activating your immune system to kill cancer every single day, right? And this is your biggest takeaway point. Okay, listen. Why does one person get cancer in one breast but not the other? One lung but not the other, right? Have you guys ever wondered that? Because listen, if your brain can get out there and it can control the body, I'll do consults with people all the time, you know. Somebody comes in with lung cancer or something like that, and I'll ask them, I'm like, okay, so how's your digestive system working? Like, fine. How's your liver working? Fine. How's your bladder working? Are you able to go to the bathroom or everything? Yeah, that's fine, right? So how's your brain working then? Fine. If that same brain can run that and heal that liver, then that same brain should be able to heal that lung, right? If it wasn't shut down. If the signals get blocked through there, it shuts it down and it can no longer heal. It's acting independent from the rest of the body. No coordination. Why does he get cancer in one lung but not the other? Right? Is because that's the side that's shut down. So those messages have to be getting through there at 100%. This is awesome. It's actually your immune system in action, killing cancer. So I'll help you so you know what you're looking at here. This is killing cervical cancer cells in action. So watch this guy right here. Right? That's a cancer cell. Watch the immune system. It's going to destroy it here. Boom, gone. Eating it. And there's another one right here. Watch it. Gone. Isn't that awesome? One more right here. Cancer cell. That's your immune system in action. Isn't that awesome? Your body kills cancer. It kills it. It was created to do that. Health is your birthright. Health is your birthright. So the difference is then you can't just go and get adjusted and stuff for your aches and your pains. It's more than that, right? I talk to so many people like, yeah, I've been to a chiropractor. I tried that, right? But when did they go? They went a couple times for their headaches, and when their headaches went away, the chiropractor told them, come back when? When the headaches come back, okay? Right? So this right here, this is actually Dr. Charlie Major's x-ray. And so what you need to see when you look from the side is you need to see a nice curve going on inside there. It actually needs to be 45 degrees. Okay, we'll keep this simple. It needs to be 45 degrees. He's at 15 degrees. So what does that do then to the spinal cord and the nerves coming through here, trying to get, right, up here's the brain. They can no longer get out there to heal his body and tell his immune system how to work. It's being compressed, it's being stretched out. It's the same thing. It's like if you took a hose and you stretched it out, you're not going to get as much water through there. You're not going to get as much information from the brain to the body like this either. Okay? So this was his x-ray when he got diagnosed with cancer. He was getting adjusted non-specifically. He was just getting adjusted. He wasn't on a regular schedule. He didn't have home exercises and stuff for himself. And so when he got this diagnosis then, and he saw his x-ray there, he knew right there that was the one thing, the number one thing he could do to get his body healing again. This had to be fixed. This right here had to be fixed. So he started on a corrective program. He actually started getting specific adjustments. He was getting adjusted during his cancer when he was going through that. once or twice per day in order to get this corrected, because that's the main thing. He was doing specific home exercises, specific rehabs, and all those things. That's corrective care, okay? If he would have just kept getting adjusted when he had an ache or pain in his neck, that wouldn't have done him any good. This is his new x-ray now, cancer-free. Can you see that difference there? So now there's a curve inside there. He's getting more of those messages down through there. He's almost got the full curve inside of there, and he's able to get life. Neurologists actually call this, by the way, the arc of life, because life comes from the brain here, down the spinal, down that arc, and into the rest of the body. That's the difference of corrective care. So how do you know if you have something like this going on? Okay, there are warning signs. Okay, so there are some warning signs, and we can go through them, but headaches, obviously, if your head's shifted forward, the nerves are getting crushed coming back up into your head, you can get headaches, okay? Blood pressure, they actually did a study, chiropractic and blood pressure, and they found out that chiropractic adjustments, your blood pressure centers are right up top here. Chiropractic adjustments work better to reduce blood pressure than 2 medications in combination. And there was no side effects from the adjustments. Depression, again, all your serotonin levels are being controlled right up top here as well. So sleep and depression, when those hormones get off, you can get depressed, you can have sleep problems. Acid reflux, right? In your mid-back here, those are the nerves going out into your stomach. So if those nerves are being blocked, you can take a purple pill and mask the symptom, or you can start to get to the cause and correct it. Start correcting the cause. So allergies and asthmas, your immune system organs up top here are being run and controlled by the nerves in the neck. Not only that, but it's related into the kidneys and the adrenal glands as well. It causes a lot of problems with allergies and hives. Ear infections, constipation, sleep problems, all those things, those are warning signs for what's going on, okay? But what's the worst warning sign is no symptom at all, right? That's the silent killer. That's why we call it the silent killer, because if your x-ray looks like Dr. Major's back there, okay, and there's nerves being crushed going out into the muscles in your neck, you can get a sore neck and it can be tight and uncomfortable, right? If the nerves being affected though are going into your thyroid, what do you feel? You wouldn't feel anything, would you? You never feel pain in your thyroid. I mean, maybe eventually if the damage sits there longer, you start gaining weight or you get tired a lot or something like that, you start to notice it, but you never actually feel pain inside your thyroid, right? So that's why if you've never been checked before, I'm going to give you the opportunity today. Part of your ticket coming in here today is that if you're a guest here, you're going to be able to get signed up for your first appointment. You get a complete history consultation. We'll do a complete I'll do a complete neurological examination on you in the office. You'll see if there's any warning signs at all of this damage going on. If there's any warning signs that I find during that, you'll immediately be set up for some x-rays so that we can find out what's actually going on there and what specifically needs to be done to correct it and get you building health and killing cancer again. So part of your ticket, typically these tests, the tests and x-rays, examination, everything, you go to hospital for that stuff, you're talking $500 to $1,000 just for the tests to be done, okay? But because you're here today, most of your guests of patients in the office already, it's part of your ticket coming in here, okay? So I'm going to pay for your exam and x-rays. It's all included. It's fine. And then, but then you can find out and see what's going on, okay? So those of you guests, if you look inside of your folder there, there is a sheet for you to fill out that looks like this, okay? When you flip this around here, it says schedule your 5 essentials examination. Okay, this is your ticket to the new life. You go ahead, you put down your name, date of birth, and your phone number right there, okay? You're gonna put that down, and then if there's anybody else in the family that you'd like to get checked, put down their names with you as well if they be coming in with you, because who do you suppose needs to take care of the system? Everybody, right? Everybody needs to take care of the system. Everybody does. So I've reserved a few appointment times specifically for you right here. I blocked off times Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for you guys. You just go ahead, you circle the time that's going to work best for you to come into the office, get your exam done, and get the testing done. And then you tear off this corner here with your appointment time. It has the address of the office there. So I'll give you a minute to get that filled out there. Patients, if you brought a guest, please help them with this because you brought them for one reason. What is that? You want to see them get what? Healthy. More than anything, you want to see them get healthy. It's your most valuable asset. It honestly is. So, but that's what we're going to do. When you come into the office, all the testing is going to be done for you. You're going to find out exactly how is this system functioning here. So, at the break here, we'll come back in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Sign up for upcoming events. Those sign-ups are back there. Try samples. We have samples of smoothies, a couple other snacks for you. I'm getting hungry, you're getting hungry, so there is food back there for you as well. And then most importantly though, guests, get signed up for your examinations, get those sheets handed in. One of the girls back there will be able to help you with that as well. So with that, go ahead and enjoy your break. Thanks guys. But we know, right? So when you turn down that oxygen, that's why exercise isn't just a good idea, it's essential. You have to be doing this stuff in order to be healthy. So oxygen deficiency, it's called hypoxia of your cells. It's oxygen deficiency. It's a real thing. It's a very real thing, and it leads to cancer. But exercise then counteracts that, provides large flows of oxygen coming into your cells to kill that cancer. It can switch from that cancer state over here to a non-cancer state. And then when you couple that with the omega fatty acids, the proper ratio, okay, so you need to be getting 50% omega-3 to 50% omega-6 and 9. Okay, if you're not getting that ratio, then it's going to create an imbalance and those cell membranes are not going to be healthy. And remember, it's not going to get the oxygen in there like it needs to anyway. So when you couple those two things together, you can really start to boost the oxygen inside of your body. Those two things need to be happening, okay? So most people though, they're about 95% omega-6 and 9 and about 5% omega-3. Okay, it needs to be a 50-50 there. So that's why you have to get the proper balance, proper ratios, which is another thing too. When you get your animal products, when you eat when you have animal products from a cow that was fed grain, they have ratios of about 20-to-1, right? Compared to grass-fed where they have that 50%, okay? Exercise and cancer prevention. So we found they did the study here, and all the research is showing this. Exercise actually ended up reducing the risk of breast cancer by up to 80% and colon cancer by up to 40%. It's affected other cancers very, very dramatically, and this is what the studies are showing. More and more research is coming on this. Not only that, exercise will affect your genetics. There's on the ends of your chromosomes, you have what's called telomeres. And what they found is that the length of your telomeres is directly related to your lifespan. And they found that certain factors of your lifestyle can cause those to shrink. One of the biggest impacts that they've ever found to have it grow is exercise. Exercise will actually cause those telomeres, those end caps, to get longer, so it's increasing your lifespan. Isn't that amazing? So you can actually increase your lifespan by exercising. So how does it affect the cancer? Well, it affects several biological mechanisms, okay? It increases your energy and metabolic balance, improves hormone regulations, improves your digestion and elimination, influences inflammatory factors, how your body's dealing with that, increases your immune response, antioxidant defense mechanisms, causes less stress and anxiety. People who exercise, they did a study on this, that exercise actually worked better than 2 antidepressant medications in combination. Exercise is working better than the drugs and has no side effects. Not to mention, most people on the antidepressants, long term, they had to find something else because the drug stops working for them or it's not as effective anymore, and they start getting other side effects from it. So the exercise can actually do better than that. Plus, it has no side effects. It only has good benefits for you. So and you get better rest. When you work hard and then you rest hard. So a new era of fitness has dawned, though. It's not your typical go out and jog for 5 hours. Okay, you don't need to do that anymore. Okay, we know that that's not actually the best type of exercise. And actually, there's research that is showing that when you exercise at a moderate intensity for a long period of time, that or a low intensity to moderate intensity for a long period of time, you can actually hit a flip point where you're actually damaging. And your body goes into more stress, and you build cortisol levels inside your body. Cortisol is your stress hormone. Okay, it goes in, it causes muscle damage, which what's your heart is a muscle. So everybody thinks you're supposed to exercise for your heart, but when you do a low to moderate intensity for a long period of time, you can actually increase the cortisol levels, and it stresses your heart. It causes more damage in there. So instead, what you need to do is the best form of exercise to balance out your hormones, to increase your energy, to get all those metabolic effects that we're looking for, increase your oxygen and lean muscles, is what's called metabolic conditioning, or it's called burst training. Okay, so it's conditioning the body's energy systems and metabolic pathways in a manner to elicit the ideal physiological responses. And it's characterized by short surges of very, very high intensity. Okay, so you're going at 90 to 100% of everything that you have for a short burst of time, about 20 seconds is ideal. Okay, so you don't have to do this for hours on end. Actually, if you do this it takes about 12 minutes a day of exercise. So who here can find an extra 12 minutes in your day? Who has 12 minutes? Come on, be honest, right? If you have a break at work, you can get this done during a break at work. Your 15-minute break, you can get this done. Now you have your exercise done. Okay, instead of going out for a smoke break and causing more damage and toxins and reducing oxygen inside your body even more, you can actually do something that promotes it. So instead of reaching for a donut or something on that 15-minute work break and trying to get a sugar rush, that's going to just cause you to crash later anyways, you can do this and you actually have more energy. It increases energy. It does. So, but that's why we have the Max T3 program. It's awesome. It's really fun to do because it creates the workout program for you. And it's easy. You can do it right from the comfort of your home. You can bring it with you if you travel. And you can do it anywhere. It's very, very low to no equipment. You can do the entire program with no equipment. Otherwise, there's a couple things that you can do to simple items that you can get just from any sporting goods store or any place that carries exercise equipment will have a few exercise bands or exercise ball for you or something like that. You can start to incorporate those as well if you'd like, but it's completely not necessary even. Yeah, 12 minutes a day, right, exactly. So, and it's fun because they'll time everything for you and you actually get to work out with Olympic athletes. That's the great thing about this program is it doesn't matter what your ability is in terms of exercise, because I know that there's people here, that have all sorts of different abilities. Some of you, you're next to, you could be a professional athlete. That's how fit you are, right? You're right up top there. And some of you, you haven't exercised in a decade, and it's going to be hard for you to get around. Others, you might have knee replacements or hip replacements. You've had surgeries or something like that you have to deal with. So that's the great thing about this program is that it tailors to your ability, because it's about working at your own best, your own personal best. It's getting that movement in there, get the heart rate up. You want to get your heart rate up to about 90% of your maximal heart rate, and do that for short bursts, and that's where the healing happens. Okay, so and they have examples in there. They have beginner, intermediate, and advanced, so that you can exercise according to where you're at. Okay, so you might need to modify an exercise or something like that. If you can't do a full push-up, you can do a push-up against a chair or a wall or something like that. You just modify the exercise to make it work for you. And you can start to build your way up to a point where you can do the full exercise then. So that's where it's awesome, Bo. But the Centers for Disease Control concluded, this is back in '95, that intermittent short surges of accumulated exercises increases anaerobic capacity by 28%, and increases oxygen intake. It increases the oxygen intake of your body. So here's your basic surge plan though. You can pick any exercise you really want, running in place, push-ups, jumping jacks, curls, whatever you want to do, jump rope. You pick the exercise that you want to do that you like, and you do 20 seconds on. You get your heart rate up into that training zone, which is 90% of maximum, and then 20 seconds off. You get a full, and that's your time to recover, time to rest, and you go back into it, but you have to go hard again, right? You have to do it hard again. So when you do 3 rounds like that, then that's kind of 1 rep, and you change up your exercise, and you do a different one. So after about 4 exercises, then that's your complete workout for the day. Now, how many of you can do that? Yeah, every single person here can do that, right? That's not difficult to do. So we're going to try it. Everybody up? Okay, so here's what we're going to do, because I like, you can get kind of not excited about exercise, or a bit down about exercise. Oh, I have to do this, and you look at it as a drag. You change your focus and you change your intent. Okay. So here's what we're going to do for our exercise: is we're going to just be punching in front of us. Okay. But here's your focus. Okay. Here's your focus. And you're going to do it hard and fast as you can. Okay. Here's your focus though. I want you to picture cancer in front of you, okay? And you're going to beat the tar out of the cancer, okay? Don't hit the people in front of you, please, yes. But you're going to beat up that cancer, and I want you to focus on that. I want you to destroy that cancer. You're going to be killing it right now as we exercise. So just a second here, because we need some music. So you can't exercise without music, so. Okay, I got a timer here. Ready, set, go. 20 seconds. Come on, you can do it. It's only 20 seconds. Fast and hard. Go, go, go. You got it. You got it. You got it. Keep going. You got this. You got 8 more seconds. You can keep doing it. It's just a few more seconds. 5 seconds. You can do it. Keep going and stop. Take a break. You get 20-second break here. You feel the energy? You feel it go up? Your heart rate gets up. You're energized now. That's right. Yeah. You're energized now. You have more energy. You're alive. You're coming alive more. Okay? Here we go. 5 seconds and we're back in it again. Okay? 1. Go. Punch, 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 punch. Come on. Focus. You're killing cancer right now. You're changing your body. You're moving from cancer here over to a healthy cell here. Keep going. 8 seconds again. Come on, a few more seconds, you can do it. It's just a few seconds of exercise, that's it. 2, 1, okay, get a break, you get a break. Good, yeah, give yourself a round of applause. Very good. So here it is. You're gonna focus on that person that they couldn't kill cancer. They couldn't fight it. Think about that person in your life that you know right now, and they would give anything for you to be able to kill this cancer. Right now, you focus on it. You're gonna do it for them, go. Come on, last round. Give it everything you got. This is where you drain everything you have left in this last round right here. You got it. 10 seconds. You can do anything for 10 seconds. Come on. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stop. Awesome. Very good, very good.
For legs now, okay?
You're going to do legs now. Okay, yep. We'll do sit-ups next, so. Good deal. You guys can have a seat. But listen, you can change your energy in a moment like that. You can make that decision right here, and you can change your state that you're in. Listen, this is where depression's fought. This is how it's done, is when you start feeling that, you can make that choice and you can change that state that you're in an instant. You choose the state. You control what state you're going to be in. Are you going to be stressed out? Are you going to be unhappy? Are you going to be sick? Are you going to be depressed? Are you going to be down on yourself? Or are you going to choose to have a positive outlook? And just like that, an instant, right? Insulin was kicking in from what we were eating and everything, right? Your body's like, it's the middle of the afternoon, I'm ready for my Saturday nap, you know, whatever it is. But just like that, in an instant, you change your state and you're back in it, right? So we're going to move into, this is the last essential number 5. It's so extremely important. It's minimizing toxicity. And this is something that's very, very scary, really, when you really start looking at what this is, because it's things that we're putting inside of our body and we have no clue how it affects us, okay? There's over 80,000 chemicals approved, 80,000 chemicals approved for use in our daily life. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that? From products and manufacturing all the way into food. Food itself has over 3,000 additives that are approved by the FDA. Did you know that? 3,000 chemicals are approved for use in the food that you're eating. Man-made, fake, synthetic chemicals. And they haven't been tested. Most of them have no long-term studies have ever been done to know their toxic side effects. Look at this. The APA actually now found, because of all the junk that we have in our homes, that our homes are now as high as 100 times more polluted than the outdoor air. Do you guys know that? Inside is now more polluted than outside. So toxins in household cleaners 3 times more likely to cause cancer than air pollution. Just your regular household cleaners, the toxins that are inside of them. Look at these studies here. You know, everybody hears, oh, it's just no big deal. It's just an ibuprofen. It's just an aspirin, right? Right? People take aspirin a day all the time. They take that baby aspirin or whatever. They sell it over the counter, so it really can't be that bad, right? Look at this study here. Women taking ibuprofen daily for 5 years increased the risk of breast cancer by 50%. Okay, that's right from the Journal of the National Cancer Institute. What else did they find? They found that women taking 1 aspirin daily for 5 years increased risk of breast cancer by 80%. 80% increased risk of breast cancer. Right? So you want to talk about getting to the cause? This is it right here. Stop the toxicity. You have to pull them out. Antibiotic use, you should know, National Cancer Institute, they found direct link. The more antibiotics a woman takes throughout her lifetime, it directly it correlates to her increased risk of getting breast cancer. Does your doctor tell you that when he prescribes you the antibiotics?
And just remember, men can get breast cancer.
And men can get it too, that's right. Absolutely. You should know that for yourself, for your family, for your kids, right? When that doctor is trying to give you an antibiotic, you have to know every single time that happens, it increases your chance of breast cancer. Why would that be, right? What did we learn earlier about what antibiotics do to your gut? Kills it. How much of that affects your immune system? 80% of your immune system controls right there. Antibiotics kill it, right? If you kill your immune system, what are you allowed to develop? Cancer. Right? I mean, like, this is just physiology and anatomy. I mean, like, that's how you learn health. You should know that. Like, that's how you learn health, how you study it. This is a very, very startling study that was done. What they found out is that they took samples of fetal cord blood from 10 newborns. They found already 287 chemicals inside. Right? So when we wonder about, well, how did this little kid get the cancer, right? You guys wonder that? It's like they haven't been alive. It starts here. It starts here. They're already being exposed to those toxins right from the womb. Right from the womb. Right in that fetal cord. Then they did a follow-up study, right? Took samples of infants' first bowel movements. They found 84 contained mercury, 27 lead, 27% had DDT. So listen to this now. DDT. 27% of them had DDT. DDT was banned in the 70s. It was banned in the 70s, but they're still finding it in newborns. How is that possible? Right? These chemicals are still around us. They're all around us all the time. It was banned for a reason because of how dangerous it is, right? Banned, I think it was 71. It was banned and it's still being found in our kids today. That's a scary thought. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about scary. So this is something you absolutely have to start to get a hold of, you know. Because thank God, you know, I mean, our bodies have internal mechanisms to deal with the toxins that we get, but it becomes an overload. You add it all together, It's the toxins from, that we're inhaling through the air. We're rubbing lotions with toxins on them into our skin. Anything you put onto your skin, you have to assume it's going into your blood supply. You shouldn't put anything on your skin that you couldn't eat in small quantities. Okay? What I use for lotion, if I ever need lotion or anything like that, I use coconut oil. Just coconut oil, right? Because you could eat that, and that's not gonna be a problem. It's greasy, but it gets the job done too. So. If you look at all the other sources of toxins, it's in our clothes. There have flame retardants in our bedding. Listen, you spend a third of your life sleeping. Think about that. You spend a third of your life sleeping, and your face down, or your face is covered in breathing in these blankets, the mattress, the pillows, the sheets. Everything is soaked in these flame retardants that cause cancer. A third of your life you're spending doing that, right? So it's absolutely 100% worth it to make an investment and start to detoxify those things. Get ones that are made from naturally flame-resistant materials, so they don't have to douse it with the chemicals. But listen, by law, I don't know if you guys know this, manufacturers by law are required to put those in there. They're required to by law. So you cannot find one unless if you're getting wool is a naturally flame-resistant material. So you can get stuff made from wool, and they won't have to use the chemicals on it. So, but you have to actually specifically search that out, and it costs significantly more, but it's worth it. What costs more, do you think? Natural mattress or cancer treatments? Yeah, that one's pretty easy, right? So when you start to look at it and think about, well, am I toxic or not? You're toxic, okay? You are. It's surrounded all around us. So step number one, obviously, is eliminating the source of those toxins, okay? Stop putting the toxins in as much as you possibly can, okay? That's step number one. But when you look at this, I mean, DDT in newborns, you're going to be exposed to it no matter what you do, okay? You are going to be exposed to it. And so it's a matter of helping your body and assisting it to give it the nutrients it needs to detoxify those things, okay? So you have one major detoxifying agent inside your body is called glutathione. Glutathione, it's your major detoxifier inside your body, and it's the limiting factor to keep flushing it out, okay? So you have to work at increasing that glutathione in your body is the number one thing you can do to detoxify these things. So that's why we made this detox system. It's because it provides those building blocks for glutathione. So it's a two-part system. It's very unique because a lot of detoxes, if something's advertised or they talk about it being a detox or something like that, a lot of times you're going to find it's nothing more than like a colon flush or something like that. It's unpleasant, and it really doesn't get to the core of the problem. It just flushes out the colon, but you're still toxic at a cellular level. So we made this one to be a two-part system. Part one is the cell detox. That's increasing your glutathione and your antioxidants inside your body, okay? And so it's going to take and it's going to empty out those cells of all the toxins, and it's going to start to pull them out at an increased rate. Then, once you get them outside of the cells, you want to make sure that they don't just go replant someplace else. And so the body detox comes, it binds onto those toxins and helps you to safely remove them from your body, okay? And the other thing about this is it's not any type of flushing or anything like that. You don't have to sit on the bathroom for a week or anything like that. It has no effects like that, but it is extremely potent. I will promise you that. I'm very serious when I say do not take this if you're pregnant or nursing because it is very potent, okay? It has potent effects. You don't want to be doing that. So, but it's a two-part system to do that, and it's great. So this is one of the main resources that you're going to be picking up today for your cancer-killing arsenal. So I'm going to kind of wrap things up here with some summaries, and you guys actually have a copy of this in your handouts there, summary sheet. But just kind of going over, each one of these 5 essentials, what's your big action steps? So the cause is the cure, right? Max mind. Start to forgive. Don't hang on to that anger. Don't hang on to unforgiveness. When you don't forgive somebody, the only person you're hurting is who? Yourself, right? The person that hurts you, they don't care if you forgive them or not. You understand that? I mean, they don't care. The only person you're actually hurting is yourself. You're allowing them to keep damaging you day after day, week after week, year after year, as long as you hold on to that unforgiveness. You need to forgive. You have to let it go. Confront your problems. Take care of you, okay? Take time for your personal self. Grow. When you stop growing, you start dying, okay? So take time to feed into your mind. Keep growing in your health, in your knowledge, it's one of the tips you'll hear from people that live really long, healthy lives. That's one of the things biggest things they'll tell you is you never stop growing, you never stop learning. Take responsibility of your life. The situations that you're in right now, take responsibility for it. Wherever it is, take responsibility. You know, where you're at right now, it's because of you. Okay? You're the common factor in all your life problems. So take responsibility for it, because when you do that, now you're in power and you can do something about it and make a change. Okay? Become a possibility thinker. Okay? Don't think of the impossible, think of the possible, right? Nutrition, so quality nutrients. You're going to start to increase your healthy fats. That should be pretty simple, and a lot of people will probably enjoy that. So that's easy, but increase your fats. Get those into there. If you're not getting fat in the meal, find a way that you can get it in there. Even if you just have to take a spoonful of coconut oil or whatever it is, get fat every single meal, okay? Moderate your protein intake. You don't want to get too much protein. Excess protein will convert to sugar. Your body will do that. Okay, so that's another thing is a lot of other nutrition programs out there, they'll tell you to go really high protein. That's bad. Don't do that, okay? So you don't want to do that. You want to moderate your intake of protein. Somewhere between 20 and 30 grams, depending if you're male or female. Pregnant women need a little bit more. Reduce or eliminate grains and sugars. Sugars should be eliminated. Okay, does that mean you're never ever going to have sugar again in your life? Okay, I'm not naive. Of course you are. I have sugar from time to time. I'm actually right now. My wife and I were doing no grain and no sugar ourselves for 30 days here because it's time to cleanse. It's time to clean the body out. It's time to reset our appetites, reset our cravings, and that's how you can do that. Okay. Until you do that, about 30 days, no grains, no sugars, you're going to keep getting the cravings coming back and back, and it's going to keep being a struggle. When you can push through that, though, that's when you can break those cravings. You can switch your body from being a sugar burner into a fat burner, okay? Even fruits on the advanced plan, you even limit fruits. You only really have berries, Granny Smith apples, lemons, limes, and grapefruit. That's all that's allowed on the advanced plan. All other fruit, though, you're going to eliminate until you're done with the advanced plan. So take the minimum amounts of supplements, and start to get these resources in there. You want to at least be detoxing, getting your D3, protein for your smoothies, and the max GI to rebuild the gut there. So start an exercise program. If you're not exercising, start. If you really enjoy running or something like that, that's fine. Still go run. Just do it in a burst training way. Don't go for the really long jog or anything like that. And the other thing is too, if you're really into marathons, this actually does increase your endurance. So it helps your endurance training as well. You don't necessarily have to run those really, really long times. So by the way, running a marathon, that's not healthy for you in any way, shape, or form, just so you know. The only way it's healthy for you is the mindset aspect of it, that you put a goal in place, you set out to achieve it, and you did it, like the accomplishment. Otherwise, you cannot enter into that and come out of that and think, man, I just did a whole bunch of stuff for my health. No, you just beat the tar out of your body, and it now needs to recuperate and it needs to heal, okay? So exercise for oxygen. Deep breathing throughout the day, increase those oxygen levels. Feel yourself starting to drain. Get a deep breath, do some jumping jacks, you know, whatever it is, get that blood flowing, the heart rate up, the oxygen pumping, and you'll wake up again. And then toxins. So get the detox system in place for yourself to guard against your daily bombardment. Avoid this, I told you this already, avoid the body care products that you can't, that contain ingredients you couldn't pronounce or eat. Buy organic whenever possible, especially meats and dairies. Okay? And then the other thing, obviously, is getting to the nerve system. Your nerve system is the #1 most important system you have inside your entire body. It's what's regulating your detoxification inside your body. It's what's regulating, if I block the nerves going into your digestive system, right? Now when you eat the organic food, it doesn't matter. You're not what you're eating, you're what you're able to digest, assimilate, and absorb inside of your body. So if you're not able to do that stuff with those nutrients, it's not going to do you any good anyways. So do your daily spinal corrective exercises. If you're a patient in the office, you already have those. If you're not, then you'll get those when you come in. But do your daily spinal corrective exercises. You know, I see you for a few minutes in the office. What you're doing the other 23 hours and 45 minutes out of the day does play a huge role and impact on how well your spine's correcting. So do those exercises to stabilize it. So I'm going to show you a video here, you know, of my dad, just kind of celebrating his life. ever seen they have some commercials like that?
We used to get.
Oh,
Does he like
I love
it?
this stuff.
He does.
There comes a time in your life where you realize that health is your most valuable asset. It really is. It's your most valuable asset. And I just, these are my kids here. And the thing is that, you know, how many people do you know that they deserve to be here and hear the same information? Right? All of them. But the reality is right now there's people in your churches, there's people that you work with, there's people all over the place. They're not going to get the opportunity to hear this information, right? They should have been here and they deserve it. Health is your most valuable asset. And more than anything, I can promise you that what my dad wants now for our family is to be healthy, to not end up with, like he did, to make the same mistakes that he made throughout his whole life, right? And so I'm going to read this. It's called To My Child. Just for this morning, I'm going to smile when I see your face and laugh when I feel like crying. Just for this morning, I will let you choose what you want to wear and smile and say how perfect it is. Just for this morning, I will leave the dishes in the sink and let you teach me how to put that puzzle of yours together. Just for this afternoon, I will unplug the telephone and keep the computer off and sit with you in the backyard and blow bubbles. And just for this evening, I'll hold you in my arms and tell you a story about how you were born and how much I love you. Just for this evening, I will snuggle beside you for hours and miss my favorite TV shows. Just for this evening, when I run my fingers through your hair as you pray, I will simply be grateful that God has given me another day and give me the greatest gift ever given. I will think about the mothers and fathers who are visiting their children's graves instead of their bedrooms. The mothers and fathers who are in hospital rooms watching their children suffer senselessly and screaming inside they can't handle it anymore. When I kiss you goodnight, I will hold you a little tighter, a little longer. As then I will thank God for you and ask Him for nothing except one more day. There's people that you know inside your life that they deserve to hear this information as well. And this is the only way that they're going to be able to make that choice themselves about what are they going to do, how are they going to improve, right? Because how many of you learned something very valuable tonight that you can take home and you can start implementing right away? Yeah, absolutely, right? You can make changes right away. Today you can start to make those changes and you can start to, it's a growing process, right? It's a growing process. So this is your opportunity to reach those people that couldn't make it today, but you know they need to hear the information. That's this other card here. It says, help my family and friends. Okay? And I know some of you too, you're here because somebody loved and cared about you enough to bring you here, right? And so this is your opportunity too to pay it forward. Almost every single person in my office is there because somebody cared enough about them to tell them about it and to give them the information, right? So this is your opportunity here. What we do is I do what's called dinner with the doc, okay? If you've been to that, it's a very fun experience. But I take your family and your friends out to dinner. I buy them dinner, you bring them to dinner, I buy them dinner, and I take a little bit of time to share some of the same stuff with them, the same information, and they get a chance to change their life as well. And they get that choice, okay? So write your name down up on top here. The next dinner will be early in November on a Monday evening. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but write your name up top there, and then you write down the people that you want to reach out to. Give their name and their phone number. If you need more space, put it on back. I'm not going to call them until you get a chance to call them, so please put your name and number up top there so we can call you and verify and make sure that you had a chance to let them know we're going to be calling them and inviting them out to this dinner, okay? So go ahead, take a minute, fill those out, and we'll be collecting those at the end then, okay? Trista, what was the date? Was it the first Monday in November? Wasn't that it? I think it was the first Monday in November, like the 3rd maybe? That'd be the third. I think that's when it is. So, but you know, and this is mindset too, is you have to have a big reason why. You have to have something that's anchoring you, okay? When I look up at there, that's my anchor, right? When I don't want to, when I'd rather reach for ice cream rather than a handful of nuts or a candy bar or something, you know, then this is why I anchor to. This is why I anchor to, because this is why I'm doing it. This is why I want to be healthy. This is why I need to make that change. So. This is going to work. You may have lost battery. So with that though, we're wrapping up here. So all the products, if you haven't gotten them yet, 10% off today. The bundles on those packages there, they equal out to about 15%. So that's literally the best discount I get all year, that you'll get all year long, is in those bundles. So take advantage of that. Get your resources, your cancer-killing arsenal today. And then don't miss the upcoming events. The next event actually is Recipe Night. That's on the 20th. So if you haven't been to one of the recipe nights, they're a whole bunch of fun. Basically, it's a potluck style. You guys will be bringing in nutrition plan from the Maximized Living stuff you can find from the website. There's recipes on there, but any Maximized Living recipe, and bring that on your resources handout. You had a sheet there with additional resources. There's recipes on those websites that would work as well. Healing Cuisine by Elise has a whole bunch of Maximized Living recipes on there. Just bring anything you want from those, as long as it follows the nutrition plans. And it's a time to fellowship though, and it's a time to gather together, because now you'll be about a week into this and you're trying to make changes, and you can talk to each other and be like, yeah, it's great. The conversations I hear is like people sharing, where they found coconut oil for the best price or whatever, They tried this recipe and they made this tweak to it that made it a lot better, or whatever it was, But also you get to sample a whole bunch of different recipes and hopefully take something away that, I really like this one, or that's one I'm going to stay away from, or whatever it is. So. But those are a whole bunch of fun. So sign up for those before you leave back there. Movie night, I talked about GMO OMG is going to be the documentary. Very, very powerful. Feel free to bring your friends to these events as well. And then there's actually a Max Life call coming up on the 16th. It will be in the morning. You go to maximizedliving.com to register for that. But you can sit at home on the phone and listen to it. It's all about toxicity and those things. So it will most likely be led, it might be led by Dr. Charlie Majors. I'm not sure who leads it. So the other thing though too is find us online, because you want to stay in touch with us, okay? Hop onto the website. If you haven't yet, get signed up for the newsletter, lawoflifechiropractic.com. The other thing is, whatever social media venue you're on, go ahead. We have an account there. So it's Facebook account is probably the one I'm most active on, but there's Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube, Google+, all those, whichever one you prefer and you use the most, find me on there, and you can stay up to date. I also, because this is learning about nutrition and things like that, it's an ongoing process. I post tons of extra articles on here, so you're not trying to just get everything in one sitting like this in a couple hours. You can pick and choose the articles that you want to follow up on, you want to read, but I'm posting stuff all the time on toxicity, max mind tips, articles on nutrition and fitness, all the time it's going on. So make sure you do that to stay in touch with the office. And then the other thing too is that we should have gotten everybody's email coming in here. If we didn't get your email, make sure we get that before you leave, because I'm going to be emailing out your challenge. So there's actually a challenge that goes along with this. It's going to give you all the steps that you need to do for the next 30 days, okay? It's going to give you tips about success. Here's what you should do, cleaning out your pantry today or whatever it is. It helps you to make action steps and goals for yourself as well, okay? So I'm going to be emailing that packet out to you, but I obviously need your email to do that. So